comes to us from the Office of the City Clerk in reference to local elections to be held in 2025, pursuant to MCL 168.720E. Council. Need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll support it.
Any discussion? Seeing none. Any comments from the audience on this item? 2 minutes, name and address. The floor is yours.
Deb Christensen again, Livonia. There's not a lot of clarification on this, just this one little sentence, so I don't know if you're able to speak to that. But my concern, if this is what's happening, is voter suppression. And if the voting is to happen 2 days prior to the date of the voting date, like the early voting, and it happened here, when the city is concerned about ADA compliance, that's also a concern of mine. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.
Hi there, Laura Janica, Munger Street. I'm going to talk about the same thing Deb is. First of all, I do want to thank the clerk for offering to do the pre-voting. I mean, it is important, and it isn't, I know it is optional. However, the early voting plan presented by the Voting Commission limits access to just 2 days in an inaccessible city hall. The plan isn't flawed, it is illegal under multiple civil rights laws. Under Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, any program receiving federal funds, including federal elections, must be accessible to individuals with disabilities. Under Title II of the ADA, the city is required to provide full and equal access to public programs and services, including voting. City Hall currently fails this legal standard. The ramp is too steep, the doors are not automatic, there are not accessible restrooms, and those are a basic human necessity. These barriers exclude disabled voters from fully participating in democracy. The exclusion is also a violation of the Elliott-Larsen Civil Rights Act, which prohibits discrimination and public accommodation on the basis of disability, as well as the Michigan election law, which requires that early voting be accessible to all voters under Proposal 2. To be clear, voter suppression is a denial of civil rights, and the 14th Amendment Equal Protection Clause that protects liberty, dignity, and equal movement. So Livonia needs to make this, if you're going to do it, if you're going to have early voting, it needs to be in an accessible building for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Council. Councilwoman Budzinski.
Through the chair to City Attorney Carter Fisher, are you able to address the comments made by the public in terms of the legality of holding early elections in City Hall and whether we're in violation of federal law?
Sure. I mean, so to some extent, those are some new and novel accusations that have been levied there, but the suggestion would imply that any early voting that takes place at City Hall is illegal under those grounds. That has not been the case or our practice for years. I don't think that would survive a challenge in court. There are, as the clerk elaborated on at the last meeting, there are any number of ways for voters to vote. This is an additional one, in addition to election day, absentee voting, et cetera. So in terms of access, I don't think any voter is denied access to vote or this implicates anyone's ability to vote by offering additional days beyond the required statutory days. So no, I don't think that would survive a legal challenge.
Okay. To the clerk, through the chair, correct me if I'm wrong. I remember previously you did curbside assistance as needed. Are you going to be able to provide that in these upcoming elections?
Yes, it's always provided at any request for any election.
So if somebody would need to call the clerk's office and you guys would send someone out as available?
Absolutely. We do that for every election.
Thank you.
Anything else from council? Madam Clerk, will you please take the vote?
Vice President Tashnik.
Aye.
Councilmember Budzinski.
Aye.
Councilmember Shield.
Aye.
Councilmember Morgan.
Aye.
Councilmember Donovic.
Aye.
President McCullough.
No. And the motion carries 5-1. That concludes our regular agenda. I'm going to now go back to the audience for any items that weren't currently on the agenda. Mr. King, do you already speak?
Yes, I did.
Well, then wait for the study.